Hey, so what we're talking about today is the PCC versus a 300 BlackOut. Now, I know you're thinking, wow, those are two really different things. But really, how far apart are they really? So we're talking PCC. What is a PCC? Pistol Caliber Carbine. So we're talking a carbine smaller than, rifle length, but using a pistol caliber, pistol cartridge. 9mm, 40 cal, 45 ACP would be your most common. Now 9mm would be like the most common. So when you think PCC, most people, and me included, and I hear PCC, I think MP5, right? This is kind of the most iconic. We've seen this on TV shows since the 80s, movies, video games. The MP5 PCC is iconic. It's 9mm, very light recoil due to the roller lock design, and then you suppress it. This 9mm is very quiet, very manageable, and it's a short package, and it's very maneuverable. Storage, and like in this case, we have the folding brace. You can take the suppressor off, and you got a pretty compact. Put it away, store it, keep it in a truck, a backpack, whatever. But so PCC is what we're talking about here, right? Another style would be like PDW. So very small, very compact, 9mm again. But why do PCCs exist? Then why did they get popular? They really took off in the mid 2000s or so. And I think, me personally, what I saw was that the 9mm became more popular. We started seeing more compact pistols, smaller pistols, more polymer design pistols. So that market really took off. And then PCCs just kind of seemed to fall in line, and more people were making them. More people were, shooting the 9mm, and the PCCs kind of just fell into place. And then there started to be a lot of different designs. SIG jumped in, CZ, HK is there, MKE. These are Turkish designs. Everybody kind of jumped on. Ruger, Smith & Wesson, everyone started making PCCs. But really, what's the PCC? The effectiveness. What can we do with that? Why do they exist? Well, the PCC is a compact cartridge, 9mm, very low recoil, and effective in range and penetration. Knockdown power is decent, and they're great for CQB, close quarter stuff, confined spaces, tight spaces, clearing a house, home protection, those types of things. Now, open field stuff, yeah, you're going to be, there is kind of its mission specific there to you go open field, you're doing longer range stuff. Okay, then you go back to rifle. But the PCCs exist because they're small, they're lightweight, easy recoiling, and then in those calibers that they're very easily suppressed and very effectively suppressed. Okay. Well, I mentioned 300 BlackOut. Well, you're thinking 300 BlackOut, that's a rifle cartridge, just it's night and day difference, right? Well, how much difference is it really? Because 300 BlackOut was designed to be suppressed. It was designed to be shot out of a 8.5-inch barrel. It's effective there. With that being said, if we're talking subsonic, to be suppressed, to be effectively suppressed, to be quiet, well, subsonic, we're going to be at 1,000 feet per second-ish, 1,100 or so, but usually right around 1,000 feet per second. Well, we're talking the same feet per second. The velocity, we're talking really close. I mean, if we're suppressing 9mm subsonic, well, it doesn't matter what caliber it is. It's just, if it's going to be subsonic, we're at the 1,000 feet per second range, right? So 9mm subsonic typically are 147 grain. And there are some that are up in the, I have some Russian stuff, steel case subsonic stuff is 155 grain. But we're typically 147 grain would be your common 9mm subsonic for being suppressed, right? So we go to the 300 BlackOut. We're at 200, 220, 220 grain. A little bit of difference there, but we're still at that 1,000 feet per second. The decibels, I would go as far as to say with the right gassed rifle with the right suppressor, you can get that 300 BlackOut to be very close to the 9mm suppressed. Okay. Why would you go 300 BlackOut? Why are we even talking 300 BlackOut? Why did I bring it up? 300 BlackOut and PCCs, totally different, right? Well, to me, not really. So let's look here. This is a 300 BlackOut with an 8.5-inch barrel. It has a dead air Sandman K suppressor. This does have the law folder, so we can remove this suppressor. Well, we can remove this suppressor, and we have a very compact 300 BlackOut carbine pistol. In this case, it'd be pistol. So let's look at the MP5 right here next to it. We can remove this suppressor. This is a dead air Ghost M. So this is a direct thread. So we'll go through the threads here. So we remove this suppressor and let's collapse it. And where are we? Oh, look at that. Almost identical, right? So for storage, putting in a backpack, maneuverability if you were going to run it without the suppressor, the 300 BlackOut, if you go, with the 8-inch barrel, is very, very comparable in size. So that gets you the maneuverability that you need. You're not losing capacity, 30 rounds, MP5 30 rounds, the Scorpion 20 to 30 rounds depending on the magazine. 300 BlackOut or PCC? Well, I say 300 BlackOut. And I'm going to tell you why. I run it suppressed with subsonic ammo. I'm quiet, compact package, close quarter stuff, clearing houses, clearing my house, going room, whatever. I have that maneuverability, right? Let's say it changes and I'm forced to leave this. Say the situation changes while I have my 300 BlackOut. A simple mag change to supersonic, I can drop down to 120 grain bullet, 110 grain bullet, zipping out at 2,000, 2,500 feet per second, and I have just doubled or tripled my range effectiveness. I can still run it through the suppressor. It's going to take the edge off. It's going to be quite a bit louder, but now I have range. Whereas my MP5 or my Scorpion or my whatever PCC, I'm 9mm and I'm stuck at 9mm. If the situation changes and I end up outside of the building or outside of the house or whatever, I am now limited to that 9mm and its range. Now, how likely is that to happen? Well, I guess it all depends on what you do and where you're at. But in my thinking is with 300 BlackOut, I kind of lean more towards it because, like I said, the scenario changes. If I have it in the truck as a truck gun and I need to, I'm running the fence line and I gotta, hey, there's a coyote dragging off. So my livestock, I can reach out there and I can touch that and I can get out there and effectively engage that coyote more accurately than I could if I had a 9mm PCC in my truck. So that's just one scenario, and that's I live in the country, and that could happen. The 300 BlackOut, I think, is very versatile, based on it being designed to shoot subsonic and compact. Those are just my thoughts. You know, I drive truck. I got a buddy, it's a cop. We talk a lot on the phone, and we kind of were talking about this the other day, and we're like, you know, PCC or 300 BlackOut, and we kind of start talking. You know, why does PCC exist? What's it for? You know, I have quite a few PCCs. You know, the wall back here, you can see some empty spots. I grabbed a couple for this video. I enjoy shooting them, and they have their place. But I would say the PCC is kind of there to fight me toward, and it could be mission specific. I mean, there could be a scenario where you know you're going to use your PCC for whatever it is. You go do what you got to do, and you're done. Okay, and it fits. But for me, being here in the country, in the house, I am more apt to grab the 300 for the unknown, right? Because this fight was brought to me, or this incident, this situation, I'm reacting to what could be happening, right? I'm not out looking for trouble. I'm just living my life, and something happens, I have to react to it. Well, I don't know exactly. Probably more than likely, you don't know what it is you're reacting to. Me with the 300 BlackOut, I have more options, and depending on how I deploy it, I could have subs in the gun, and my other mag could be supers, and I could have that in a pocket. I could, you know, chest rig that's very easy to don. To me, the 300 BlackOut just makes more sense, and I can do more with it. But the PCC totally has its place too. So, did I prove anything? Or am I just arguing with myself? I don't know, just kind of food for thought. Something I had thought about. I've had this conversation with a lot of people. So, PCC or 300 BlackOut? For me, it's 300 BlackOut. For you, there's no real wrong answer. And it's what you need and what you have. And, you know, if you have it, you have to use it. But you'll make that decision. And for me, I have a lot of options, so therefore I can kind of pick and choose, and I'm not really stuck to one. But if I was building my collection up, I probably would get the 300 BlackOut first because it's a little more versatile to me, and then start building up your PCCs, unless you need the PCC specific for duty or whatever. But that's what I have to say today. So for me, 300 BlackOut. For you, I don't know. Down in the comments below, let me know. But I appreciate you being here, and I like providing this content. If you like it, over here, subscribe. And over here, check out the other videos. There'll be more to come. But I appreciate you. Thanks a lot. I was weird. Just had a bug. Anyway, I appreciate you. Thanks. We'll catch you on the next one.